界のみんなとつながろう Bridges across world communities.
Hello and welcome to Bridges Across World Communities, sponsored by NIA, the Nishinomiya City International Association. My name is Thelma.
And I'm Floyd. Each month we provide practical knowledge for daily living and important information about disaster prevention.
This program is for English-speaking residents in the Nishinomiya area and is broadcast on the second and fourth Saturdays of each month from 12 noon to 12:15.
This month we'll talk about shoki barai, a traditional Japanese custom for beating the summer heat.
We also talk about linear rain bands called Shinjokusoi-tai in Japanese.
And we have the second half of our interview with Ms. Alemi Shiba, originally from Afghanistan, now living in Nishinomiya.
提供は西宮市国際交流協会です。
Hello, Thelma. Mushi mushi atsui desu yo.
そうですね。Well, this hot weather is driving me crazy, Floyd. After today's recording session, we should practice some shukibarai.
Shoki barai, that sounds familiar. What is it again?
Shukibarai
Yeah.
can be translated as cooling off or relief from the heat, and it includes the traditional Japanese practices related to beating the heat during these scourging summer months.
You mean things like regularly drinking water and using air conditioners to keep cool?
No, it's much more than that.
Oh.
Well, many practices and activities are associated with shukibarai. Like, for example, people might eat cold food like chilled noodles, known as somen, or shaved ice treats like kakiguri.
Yummy.
Yeah, so this helps lower the body temperature and satisfy your taste buds at the same time.
That sounds okay, but what about ice cold beer?
Yes, Slide. Well, drinking ice cold beer is a very popular shukibarai practice too.
Thank goodness. I've heard many Japanese breweries even release special summer editions of beer for beating the heat. And there are various herbal teas that are believed to have cooling properties that are popular too.
That's true. And traditional Chinese medicines also play a role in shukibarai. Certain herbal remedies are thought to balance the body energies and promote the sense of coolness.
That's interesting, combining Chinese medicine with Japanese traditions. Now, are there any other foods associated with shokibarai? I mean, isn't unagi, eel, often eaten during the hottest days of summer?
Yes, unagi is rich in nutrients and believed to provide stamina and vitality and helping people endure the heat. And pickled plum or omeboshi, well, it's refreshing and tangy taste as is often included in meals or enjoyed on its own to combat the heat also.
I love umeboshi. What about fruits and vegetables?
Well, melon, kiwi, pineapple, cucumbers, tomatoes, lettuce, and other water-rich fruits and vegetables are also summer staples as they help keep you hydrated and cool.
Anything else associated with shokibarai?
Well, of course, many regions have outdoor summer festivals or matsuris with traditional dances, music, and stalls offering refreshing foods and drinks. Well, it's a great way to take your mind off the heat and enjoy some cultural experiences.
Yeah, I've been to a few matsuris and really enjoyed them. Now, I think escaping the city heat by going to rivers, mountains, or the countryside should also be considered another shokibarai practice.
It already is,
Oh.
with many people visiting those places during hot summer days that enjoy the cooler air and the beauty of nature.
I didn't realize so many practices and activities were associated with shokibarai. Sounds like it's been a part of Japanese culture for centuries.
It has. Shukibarai is often thought of as a holistic approach to summer, while focusing on staying physically comfortable and mentally refreshed. Well, it is a beautiful blend of cultural practices, food, and drinks that make the hot summer months much more manageable.
That all sounds fine and dandy, but I think a cold drink is by far the best shokibarai practice to beat the summer heat and relieve stress. Now, I know a good place for ice-cold beers. Care to join me?
もちろん. Now, right after we finish today's show?
Yeah, okay, it's a date.
Okay.
So, welcome back, Shiba Alemi from Afghanistan.
Thank you,
we-
Floyd. Thank you.
This is the second half of our interview from last month. And last month, just to summarize, you came to Japan in 2022, I believe.
Yeah,
And you were lucky to
That's
get out
right.
of Afghanistan. Sounds like things were kind
That's
of
right.
the collapse of the American occupation and things like that. So you're making a new life here. You have 2 children. You have your husband. What are your first impressions of being in Japan?
first impressions that I'll tell you a funny thing about my first impression when I came to Japan. Like in Afghanistan, you cannot commute by train because we don't have subways.
Oh, okay.
So when I
Well, how do you get around mostly?
like by cars, like
Okay.
yeah. And when I came here to Japan, like for the first time, I noticed like, oh, they're commuting by train. That's okay. So I didn't know where to buy tickets, where like in what time trains are like. For example, they are leaving the platform, or like just I didn't know anything about like that. And so when I came here, like I remember first time like people were lining up, yeah, and I was like, oh wow, so you need
So-
to line up.
So they
in
don't
order
line
to
up
get
in
in.
Afghanistan?
Kind of I have to say no.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I have learned so many like disciplines. Yeah, like though I'm an instructor here, but I'm learning from them. Like yeah,
You're teaching
learning every
English
day.
here.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
teaching, but I'm learning beside teaching. Yeah, I'm learning.
How are the children reacting to you?
They love trains, yeah, and they love the environment. They love Japan.
Now, before you came to Japan, you were studying, I think, English literature, you said?
Yes.
And are you hoping to continue your studies here at all?
Of course, yes. It's my dream to continue my education. I want to study my master's degree in education, and I hope that I'll be able one day to, start my education again, like to study master's and maybe PhD. Yeah, that's my dream. Yeah.
So you pretty much plan to stay in Japan at this stage?
Yeah, till now, yes. I can say yes.
This is going back a little bit to kind of political stuff. I mean, we were talking about during the past 20 years before you left and before the Taliban came back into power, you had a lot of freedoms. You could go out, you were going to university, you could meet people.
Yeah, that was okay for women.
And you could meet your husband, I understand.
Yeah.
So where did you meet your husband?
Well, that was like in Afghanistan, marriages are often arranged by families. Yeah, they are the one who decide. Like, so yeah, the story started with families, and then my father. Yeah, he allowed me to ask question like, what is my expectations from my future partner?
Okay.
So I told everything, and yeah, after my after say yes, then they accept it. Yeah.
So I think you were talking to us earlier about this. You said your husband's parents and your husband came to your house, and they kind of had a big
kind of
interview
like
conversation.
My husband, he paused the interview. Like the interview was with my the interview was with my father and my 4 uncles.
Okay.
I remember and there were so many questions like.
But you knew him before this, didn't you? Or you had met him before?
No.
Oh, you hadn't met him before?
No.
Oh, I thought you had.
This
So
was the first
now, how
time.
long was this interview? Like an hour or two? Or?
It got like 2 hours.
2 hours. And then, and
about
then
2 hours.
He decided he liked you, and you decided you liked him?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like,
Wow.
And after like I remember that my uncle called me that like he said that, okay, you cannot refuse because he is he's good looking. He's intelligent, he's smart, and I said that okay then that's okay, yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Kind of like election.
But you haven't seen his face yet before.
No, I saw his pictures.
wow.
On social media. I saw his pictures. Yeah.
Now, have things changed
Photos.
at all since 2001, 2021?
I think no, maybe the same,
So-
but it depends. Like some families, like it's okay if you choose your partner, it's okay in Afghanistan. I mean in Kabul,
Yeah.
or some maybe 2 more provinces. That's okay, but in general, families, they decide like.
Wow.
yeah, the
I guess
decisions.
again, there's a big Indian community here, and we have friends who are,
yeah.
had arranged marriages. I know my wife, when she was young, her parents were trying to arrange a wedding for her,
I
marriage
see.
for her.
Floyd, I have a very curious question. Like, what makes your husband pass the, let's say, the interview?
Makes him
what
what?
kind of question was that makes him really?
That was like, I remember like my husband
Would that
always.
be okay if we put it on there? Like,
That's okay, yeah. I remember that. He's always saying like, your father asked a question like that was like so tough for me to answer at that time. I said, what was the question? Like, we remember that my father asked like, is it okay to like, so we were living in Kabul, in the capital city of Afghanistan. So my father asked like, is it okay for you? So you will be the husband. So is that okay for you if my daughter asks you that I want to commute like by bike or I want to like ride a bike outside?
Yeah.
So is it okay?
what was his answer?
I think he paused and then he said like, of course it depends, like if there's something like urgent and he needs to ride a bike, of course so that's okay. And then my father said that, okay, so now he's an open-minded person, that's okay.
So your husband would give you a lot of freedoms.
Yeah, he's supportive.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Now these days, again, going back, the Taliban are in power. Would you be able to go out on your bicycle and ride around or not?
Of course no.
So you can't.
I can't
Yeah.
like,
So-
no one can like.
Now, if things change in Afghanistan, would you want to go back at all?
Of course, like as I like told you before, that no matter how outside is beautiful, how outside is developed, how it's safe, but you will always miss your home. Like Afghanistan's like a home for me, of course. My parents are living there, my sisters, my brother, my friends, they're living there. So of course, I want to go back.
Yeah, you must miss them. On this show, we always have a lot of foreigners, obviously, and one of the questions is always about the family back home, and usually it's always they go back to visit. The relatives have been here. We've gone back several times. Whereas you have no opportunity at this point.
Of course, this is the problem, that I cannot meet them. I can't go back to my country. Like if I go, so there's like kind of like. I will be thinking that will I be able to come back to Japan or not? Like,
well, let's hope things improve, because it'd be nice if you could go back and your
Thanks,
relatives could
Lloyd.
come here to visit. Either way, but
thank you.
good luck and welcome.
Thanks a lot, Selma and Floyd. Thank you so much. It was
Thank you
nice
for
meeting
coming.
you. Thank you.
Bye-bye,
Thank
Shiba.
you.
防災情報です。
In recent years, usually during the summer months, we've been experiencing more Sanjo Kosuitai, or linear rain bands.
We heard this term quite often on TV last month when the Kyushu, Akita, and Tohoku regions were hit by torrential rains.
Linear rain bands refer to multiple rain clouds that form into lines and pass over the same area for many hours. There's no standard definition, but generally, it's cumulonimbus clouds that are responsible for these long, heavy rains.
So, if you hear the term Senjo Kosoitai during the weather report, it means there's a good chance of heavy rainstorms lasting for many hours.
And even if an evacuation order is not declared, you should be extra cautious when going near steep slopes or bodies of water like streams and rivers.
Always be prepared for rainstorms beforehand by confirming the routes to your nearest evacuation locations. For inquiries about city office services in English, please call the Nishinomiya Multilingual Call Centers at 0798-365-000.
For consultation services and any other inquiries, contact NIA at 0798-328680 or send an email to nia@nishi.or.jp. Our English-speaking staff will be happy to help you.
Please continue to be careful and stay safe.
提供は西宮市国際交流協会でした。
Have a great weekend, everyone.
See you next month.
Keep safe.